You're watching Space TV, the only platform for sustainability projects, architecture, construction, and engineering. Watch Space TV from Vegas Media.
Incentives that's given. Thank you so much. I think the last point is said of the transit development. It's all about mass movement of people. The right time for Reddy-Garu to come over and the big movement that you got, the mass rapid transport initiative taken. Possibly you can also talk a little about the excellent outer ring road work also as one more component of the transportation movement. And what is the stress you give for public transport? Reddy-Garu.
Good afternoon to all of you. As my colleague has mentioned, we'd like to make a difference in Indian cities. As you know pretty well, land use and transportation are interlinked. We are trying to make these two things work together. All over the world, especially in the Indian cities, if you see, our major concern is basically the increase in distances, increase in travel time. How do you reduce is the most important thing. One, we are trying to reduce the travel needs actually. Second thing is trying to reduce the travel distances. This is what my colleague has briefly mentioned. Our stations, see there are about 130 major mass transit systems in the world. I have taken the best features of most of these systems and I am trying to incorporate this and improve upon that. For example, my understanding is that about 30% of travel that is done, motorized trips that are done in cities are avoidable trips, provided you give the facilities that are required at the mass transit stations itself. So our stations are going to be comprehensive, they are going to be hubs of activity. Whatever a human being wants shall be available at the station. That's the concept which we have introduced. Second thing, what we are doing is at all these stations, public transportation becomes the most important thing for Indian cities. Right now in Hyderabad, it's about 42% of our motorized trips are by public transportation, mostly by buses, which are not really rated high. We are trying to improve the public transportation system because you know pretty well the carbon footprint in cities is mostly because of the vehicular emissions. About 80 to 90% of the carbon emissions in cities are because of vehicular emissions. You have to reduce by increasing the public transportation system. So we are providing an integrated model of public transportation system. The main travel is going to be what we are building the mass transit system of 71 kilometers in phase 1. This will be connected with intermodal transportation. All the rail terminals we are connecting, or the bus terminals we are connecting, and we have also identified what is the traffic catchment area for each station. We have 60 stations at 63 locations. On the right side, how many colonies are there? On the left side, how many colonies are there? All these colonies, continuous merry-go-round bus movement will be there, so that your travel needs, you don't require a private vehicle. This is one concept. The second thing, important one, is that along with public transportation, you have to encourage non-motorized transport. There are going to be bicycle tracks. There are going to be continuous skywalks, which Bangkok has introduced wonderfully. Ours is an elevated metro system. We are making use of the height advantage, and below the elevated viaduct, we are going to have continuous skywalks. The skywalks will straight up land into schools, colleges, hospitals, government offices, and commercial buildings, so that you're walking. In the Indian context, what happens is all of us know that democracy sometimes gives a lot of freedom. In India, it has happened. Even if you build the sidewalks, definitely we are going to build sidewalks, but they're going to be occupied. So skywalks above also we're creating. Then with that, pedestrian facilities, bicycle tracks, on all these things, we will give a comprehensive solution. That's how we will reduce the carbon footprint in Indian cities. And Mr. Suresh has asked me to mention about outer ring road. Outer ring road is an excellent concept. Very few cities in the world perhaps have had. It's a 500 feet long, it's a 500 feet wide road, outer ring road. It covers about 160 kilometers all around the city. With this outer ring road, international airport and metro within the city, we are confident that we have planned this city to sustain perhaps about 3 crore population, 30 million population we can sustain in the next few years, because we, as you know, we are at 35% urbanization. When it becomes 40% urbanization, 50% urbanization, Hyderabad, cities like and Hyderabad has no limits, it can keep on growing all around, it has no geographical limits. That's how we are taking the entire traffic, intercity traffic, out of the core area with outer ring road. With these words, I think I'll stop here. You are welcome to ask me any questions. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Redigar, that's brought out very well. I was very happy you made it integrated, covering not only all the rail along with it, but are you planning to have a unified metropolitan transport authority also in UMTA or something like that? You already have one. Well, that's interesting. Where the bus travel, do you have that like Singapore, the tickets in the rail ticket can also be used by the other?
Yes, Mr. Suresh had asked me about UMTA. We have already formed Unified Metropolitan Transportation Authority and all for some members in that, number one. Number two, he has asked about integrated ticket. Yes, we are working on that. It's going to be an integrated ticket. On the same ticket, you can travel by train, you can travel by bus. Not only that, the same ticket can be used. You can go to a retail shop and you can do your purchase. You can go to a gas station and you can do that.
Gentlemen, that's the big city, small town. Want to get on to, that's not the whole India. India was about 5,000 cities, 5,161. National census 2011 brought 7,315 cities. But you have 6 lakhs, 24 lakhs villages. Okay, around 68% of the population there. But you also require the rural-urban divide. How do you take care of, when you want to have sustainable habitat, it cannot be sustainable urban habitat alone. It has got to be both together. Rural. They got a new word called rural and urban called rurban. I hope you heard this new word now, which is the fringe area, border area. So let me ask Neerab Kumar Prasad ji to briefly talk about this issue as well.
Good afternoon. India is doing well, I know, we all know in green building movement. But one thing, as Mr. Suresh has mentioned, if I ask you how many green buildings we do have in rural areas of India, we will all say nil, zero, done. But how many green buildings are there in Gurgaon or Hyderabad or Pune? We have many. So this always happens in India. That is the problem of India. So, ladies and gentlemen, in today's context, unless we concentrate more on rural areas, particularly on the rural sustainable habitat, we are again going to, make the country there will be a big difference. So, what is my suggestion? But the highest budget, which ministry has highest budget? That's the Rural Development Ministry. And in one day, we were discussing as the chairman of the Alden India Council. I was discussing with the rural ministry officials. They were simply telling for rural climate responsive building, we don't have any proposal. But the state like Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat, who are Maharashtra, who are really developed, you go and see the rural. I have seen, as an expert of Government of India, lot of rural houses. All the houses are very, very dark in daytime. But they don't know how to just capture the daylighting. Their machines don't know how to capture the daylighting. They don't know how to capture little bit solar energy. So, ladies and gentlemen, my only one point to the architect also, we may not have a 5-star building, 4-star, 3-star, 2-star, 1-star. We can have a 1-star or non-star building. Non-star green building, manual for rural areas. Can you do that? That is my request to CII. Ministry of Rural Development will be very happy to support such type of program. Let it be a mass program. Unless we make the green building program a mass program for the whole country, our objective of the country, that is the emission reduction by the year 2020, we will not be able to achieve. Yes, there will be some good examples in Hyderabad or Pune or Bangalore, but it will be not a uniform program. So my request, my submission to you, that yes, side by side with the urban, rural climate responsive housing, shelter or habitat should be developed properly, and where energy will play a major role. Lot of fund is available, only proposals or good technological solution. The corporate sectors are here, they are always thinking about the urban solution, but the rural requirements are to be studied properly, and those requirements in a climate responsive mode should be developed and should be introduced, and HRD, the Mission Development, Mission Training Program, Rural Architect Training Program should be taken up. Then only India will have a balanced green building movement. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Gadjadri Sahab. You opened up a new point. It's a challenge to everybody in the CII, IGBC and all the